Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Virtek and Chibi Bree, are back from their latest adventures.
Hello everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm Chibi Bree, and I'm here with our guest, Daedalus. Hi, Daedalus.
Hey, everyone.
And we have my co-host, Virtek.
Hello there. How goes your day?
Hello. So, today we have our episode 2, the story so far. And we have a few things that we'd like to touch on super quick before we jump in as far as announcements. But before we begin all of that, Daedalus, how do we find you? What are you a part of?
Well, I'm an official content creator for Ashes of Creation. I have a website, ashenherald.com. My content is primarily YouTube. So I'm there. I create videos and also do podcasts. I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me there for checking out my latest content, and that's at the Ashen Herald.
There we go. And don't worry, later on, if you are listening on YouTube, all the links will be down in the description. Speaking of YouTube and stuff, we started a new YouTube channel for the Golden Feather, and I've been really bad at uploading the stuff to the old one, but I'll be doing that with a little intro saying like, hey guys, we're over here now. Thank you guys so much for those of you who have followed our new YouTube and subscribed. I appreciate that. We're also working on the iTunes situation. That's a little bit trickier, so I've got it up at least on Soundcloud. I just need to reconnect Soundcloud to the iTunes stuff. And we have everything else set up. The bots have new links. Also, we have official emotes now. So we're working on some of the emotes because it's kind of a port over from some of my older emotes. But it fit our theme so well that I was just like, why not? Let's do it. And also, one other thing is I'd like to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed to our Twitch here, and your support means the world to us, and we're able to keep getting better because of that. And we wouldn't be here for those of you that aren't watching us now, so thank you. Let's see, new stuff. There's been a Q&A up on the Reddit. Have you had a chance to check that out at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's some pretty cool stuff there. They answered kind of a few things we knew about and a little more detail on things we didn't, which was really nice. I think they kind of talked a lot about some of those really anticipated features. They talked about especially around like classes and nodes and stuff. So it is, it's still more teases, I guess, still more soon TMs, but still, we keep hearing that, but it is also very soon according to that. So that's encouraging that we're going to get more information soon.
Yeah, the soon TM stuff, it's still there, but I'm really liking the direction everything's going as far as communication, now that there's actually somebody in charge of the communication portion of everything. Things are coming out with decent amount of detail and decent timing, and it's more proactive now, which I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, Maggie and the team do a great job, definitely. And I know there's a lot that they're saying, hey, we're working on it, but you can really see just the improvements in the Discord and just some of the formats, even of the last stream, right? They were really organized, so you know they're out there handling their business. We'll see stuff soon.
We keep saying it over and over again, but we are very grateful to Maggie and Miss Toast. That's the only way I can remember her. For some reason I always call her Miss Toast in my head. But yeah, for one, I enjoy it because there's a lot of stuff, and I saw that they also redid, we talked about this last week, they redid the Discord, but they also have posted Q&A, like very common Q&A within that area as well, and have you redirect to a specific channel in order to ask new questions. And sometimes, like the other day I was asking if like clerics and tanks have like a specific, for example, color for their class, or if it just happened to be that in the banners they chose like those colors for whatever reason. And somebody else had asked like, why is it worth buying cosmetics? And I was like, oh, I know that answer, and I like answered it real quick for them. So it's kind of nice because sometimes new people, since it's getting bigger, not bitter, definitely not bitter, but bigger. I know there's a lot of new people that are joining, so it's kind of nice to be able to keep an eye on that and see what kind of answers other people answer for the mods, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick, but the other mods are officially off of the, what do you want to call it? Off the market, I believe. It's, no. Okay, I think, are the cosmetics up until the 21st? I don't know. Is there like an overlap going on there? They made an announcement on it, and I thought I understood it as you have until the 21st to get January, but in the meantime, here's the new release for February.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that announcement, but I've been a little disconnected with work and whatnot. But yeah, that would be great, because I know a lot of times people really are looking forward to those cosmetics, and just having that extra time I think would be good. A little bit of overlap would be nice. So if they did that, yeah, more power to them.
Right.
Yeah, it would be amazing. I think I know there was definitely a change to the website where it does this really weird things. You go into the store and you look at the cosmetic area, and it shows you all the stuff you've already bought in the area where you buy other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that confused me for a while, because I was looking at a lot of the summer and Kickstarter exclusives that were showing up in that list, and my jaw kind of hit the table. Like, are they opening that back up for purchase? Are they just unlocking the whole store?
Yeah, I know they've been talking about some issues still with the website. I know some users can't see like the actual pictures of the cosmetics too. So yeah, I know they're still working out some things. So if you do see something, you definitely let Maggie or Lieutenant Toast know, and they'll get it over to the web team. At least that's what I hear.
That's the rumor.
Speaking of, have you guys seen the new cosmetics? I just put it up on the stream for those of you in our chat. But I don't know. I'm pretty excited over this one. I know they used the Oracle pet for their like Happy Valentine's Day for yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cute. I actually got that one. I got the headdress and I got the armor.
Yeah, see, I want to know what that weird little, like, jellyfish creature thing is. Like, what's up with him?
Well, it's a good thing you say about that, because actually, on ashesofcreation.com, they have a blog post that they put out for, and they've been doing this for a little while, but they have a blog post on it, and that's the Glimmering Geode. The Glimmering Geode have no natural predators among the dunes of Vera, for no claw or fang can pierce the crystals that protect the flesh within. Taming the beast is no easy task, but those who succeed cross the desert in both safety and style. So it's a mount.
Both safety and style.
Yeah. So that is a nice little geode mount that they have there. But that brings me to my next point. Actually, on their blog, they have many descriptions like that for each of the cosmetics. I know initially when they were like, oh, new cosmetics, I was like, oh, cool, and then I just go buy whatever looked cool. But the other day, something caught my attention in which I believe it was Margaret posted that they are doing the a lot of the lore in their Instagram posts. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Yeah, I did see that the other day that they were doing that, which is really cool. It's nice to be able to see, how they're orienting like all the different cosmetics, because a lot of times it's like I had the same thought. It's like, oh, what looks cool, and then kind of get it. But definitely being able to hear the lore behind it, it makes me think a lot about how this whole game came about lore-wise, and I just imagine Steven with his, like, binders of lore he's created, and he's like, okay, let me pull out this page, let's make these cosmetics or something like that.
I kind of like it because it's like, if you get a 3,000 piece puzzle and just the entire box was just a brown wrapper with the name that says like fancy landscape,
Right.
but then you're looking at each individual piece, and if each individual piece on the back said this flower, etc., or this tree, or this stone, and you're looking at it going, how does this fit into the big picture? How does it fit exactly? I want to see where this goes. Okay, these two go together, I see. But you have to piece it together with the lore rather than looking at the images themselves.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the more exciting things, because I'll actually show you guys for those of you watching the podcast, whether you're watching it now or you're watching it later. But I actually really enjoyed that they put that kind of thing up on Instagram, because like for people who might enjoy more of that lore, like there's more behind just the photo, and I actually know personally I'm enjoying a lot of lore stuff, and I wish I'm kind of wanting to go back to all the other previous cosmetic stuff and look at what they have for just in general, like the explanations for everything. And I don't know. I'm excited about lore, I guess.
Yeah, I do like the fact, again, they're tying it into lore, because we're always asking for more lore, so, definitely that at least scratches that itch for the time being.
Right.
Little by little.
Little by little. Okay, let's see how this looks. Transition. Oh no, it's just black. Never mind. We're gonna take that back down. Well, anyway, I'll at least link it later. I don't know why it's not showing it, but it's basically one of the older cosmetics where there's the polar bear pulling the caravan that has like all the furs and leathers, and they're saying that it's from Orlar. I don't know how to say it. He's Dwarven though, and that like this caravan is like named after him, and there's like a lot more lore on it. So it's kind of
that was a really interesting story of that one. It's like, you got this dwarf who gets annoyed with his caravan, so he breaks the wheels and 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 decides to put skis instead because it's snowing out. I'm like, okay, practical, a little bit maybe extreme, but practical.
The dwarven temper.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yep, for sure.
And I mean, dwarves are known for building, so they gotta have quick wits. But speaking of, going into our community spotlight segment, Daedalus, I hear you're a man of lore.
I am. I've done my fair share of stories on the forums, and definitely am very lore hungry. I constantly bug the team about, when's the next lore release, or can we have some more lore early, so they know me well.
Are you, just in curiosity, are you excited for the Nodes 3 coming out eventually?
Eventually.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I probably would break the scale. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, the nodes are what really got me. That whole system is what really got me into Ashes of Creation. So, yeah, most definitely Nodes 3, I am chomping at the bit for.
Awesome.
I know it's meme status now, but...
Nodes 3, where are you? But yeah, no, that was actually going to answer my first question I had for you, was how did you get into Ashes of Creation?
Well, honestly, it was luck more than anything. I was cruising around YouTube, checking out what was out there gaming-wise, and this Ashes of Creation video popped up on my feed, and I'm like, let me look into this a bit more. And it was right around when they were getting ready to go with Kickstarter, and I think from there I gobbled up the nodes videos, and then I was like, okay, I need to get it on this Discord, and and at that point I was pretty much a Discord noob. I had it like maybe one other server there, and I ended up just really closely following it, getting to know the community, getting to know kind of more and more about the game, and the more I heard, that Kickstarter time was pretty exciting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
pretty phenomenal how well they did in the Kickstarter, and I think it was just amazing that it was all really grassroots, more than anything. So yeah, it was a fun time. Still great community out there, and yeah, I would say that's what excited me, is kind of getting surprised by a video. I'm like, this sounds like an interesting MMO, and Steven's passion pretty much sold me on the game, and I was hooked.
He's very passionate about Ashes, that's true.
Most definitely, yeah.
And I feel you about the summer Kickstarter campaign being really big and really just a big rush of stuff, because I found out about Ashes, I want to say it was maybe 1 week into the Kickstarter having started, maybe like a couple days. And so I read everything on the Kickstarter, saw the videos that were literally just on the Kickstarter. I watched all that in one day and said, I need to know more because I want to buy into this. And just the next 2 weeks were nothing but searching the web for everything I could find.
Yeah, this Ashes is the only Kickstarter I've ever pledged to.
Same.
Like, ever. And it's the only one that I said, you know what? Whatever happens, this feels like it's the right way to go with an MMO. And if anything, I'm confident they're going to launch, but if anything, they're disrupting the industry, which is exactly what it needs right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
It needs that
In a good way.
push. It needs that push to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The next new thing, it's going to push everyone else to want to do the same, because they see people climb out of the wallpaper saying, yes, that. So...
I guess I'll go ahead and ask the next question then. What are you looking forward to the most in Ashes?
Probably two things primarily. I think just seeing the node system in action. We've talked a lot about it, and every stream, more often than not, the question comes up, what are nodes and kind of what do they do? But I just think even that, along with that, and just other questions that are kind of nodes adjacent, it's just really cool to be able to see how they're going to create a dynamic world, how it's going to be a combination of, things we unlock, curated content. It's not going to be something that's really procedural. It's more choice-based, and to me, the fact that you could have different servers have different stories it's just really fascinating. Whereas, you have other MMOs, and, a raid is a raid is a raid, or a dungeon, etc. You're not going to have that differentiation. So the fact that you are going to have those different experiences, to me, is pretty fascinating as a player. And then also, I think the class system, it seems really deep, and they consistently wow people, myself included, whenever they talk about that, like how from a customization standpoint, somebody can have a tank can have a shield wall of some sort, and you could pick it out that's that player's shield wall. That, to me, that level of customization is pretty kind of mind-blowing, that they are going to do that, not only from the standpoint of look, but also augmentations being a fundamental change in how a skill behaves. Those are just things that it's like, wow, that just sounds completely awesome and fun to play with, because you're definitely gonna be building and rebuilding characters just to kind of see what you can do, and
especially when that character creation comes out.
Exactly. Right. I don't know that anyone that has followed the Kickstarter from day one that isn't like, can we have a character creator now? Even like, I know a lot of people don't necessarily focus as much on aesthetic, when a game comes out. That's definitely a factor. They want, obviously, a game that's fun to play, but I've never been more enthralled by like an environmental and a character creation team than when I talk with them at the PAX West convention, because Matt Broom, like, bar none, he is like one of the most passionate people that I've ever, like, interacted with in the industry when it comes to creating characters and how he wants to push the envelope. So I mean, I think anyone that really loves customization is going to, like, be a happy camper once that comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you bring up something interesting with looking forward to the individuality of each server. Like, that I think is going to be amazing, because as you said, like, nodes are one of the things that got me interested in the game, and the fact that how the nodes developed, or how they will develop, are going to make each server unique, even down to, I guarantee you the team is going to be so individual with armor pieces that can be crafted are probably going to be tied to the raids and whatnot that you get the parts from.
Actually, I did, okay, so I haven't put it out yet, but I did do a video on cosmetics this week for my YouTube channel. And they said that you can, doing certain achievements will allow you to get certain cosmetics that you can change, like, your breastplate from. So, like, if Virtek and Daedalus were in a raid and I was busy that week and I saw them running around, I'd be like, oh, you guys got that chest plate from, like, that one raid. Oh my gosh, that's way cool, and things, I think, are, like, really cool that you can adjust things like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interject on that. That just brought up.
All good.
I mean, that's what we're all excited about, is that level of customization. And you're talking about it not only, like, in how many different components you're going to be able to mess with, essentially, but also how many different things you're going to be able to do with your character, finding augments in the world that nobody else has or may have for a long time. I mean, I think those are just things that you're like, I want to be that guy that finds that, or, like you said, you want to be recognized on a server, not only for, the skills you're choosing, but, like, the items you're finding. It's one of those things that's really fascinating. At least it was at first with some other MMOs I've played, but then after a while, people tend to have the same, like, they have the same look. So it'll be interesting to see how the team tackles that problem. I think with so many options, I think they might have it pretty much licked, but we'll see.
Well, yeah. So think of how this would turn out. So, kind of like everybody starts to look the same because there's the same raids and all this and that. Now, one server is going to end up unlocking certain raids and dungeons. I mean, there might be some that are common for every server, but the specific ones that one server unlocks because of their choices, they're gonna have a bunch of people on that server with, like, say, obsidian and lava looking armor because they unlocked, like, a dragon's cave in a volcano.
Right.
But there might not be any other server out there with any of that armor. So each server would have such a unique identity when it comes to that.
Because of what they unlock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
A lot of potential for story sharing for years down the line, just based on individuality of different server content.
Speaking of story sharing, you said earlier that you have a podcast and stuff. Mm-hmm. So what kind of content exactly do you create for Ashes?
So I started out creating just basic videos for Ashes of Creation, just talking about, some of those core features like nodes, like the class system, etc. And then I branched out and started working with a friend of mine. We've kind of known each other for years from our WoW days, and we started doing a podcast called The Herald Craft. And essentially, it's a theory crafting podcast. And what we did is we spent one episode per class and talked about all the 64 class combinations. So that was kind of my gateway into the podcasting area. And then I started doing podcasts around other mechanics like the tavern, like City Hall. And now I've been kind of pulling in my lore love, and I've done, role-playing roundtable podcasts as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I've been trying to kind of mix it up in terms of the different types of content. I am also been working on something more on the fiction side, but it is kind of lore adjacent. So I have my own interpretation of why, or where we were exiled to from Vera originally, and how we're getting our way back. But it's more of a kind of a different take, I think, than the team is going with. But still, it's like it's an interpretation, and I know there's just a ton of great artists and writers out there already too. So it's just cool to be able to theory craft in a fiction form as well. So that's kind of the other side of the content I haven't really done a lot publicly yet, other than maybe throwing some stories on the forums. But primarily right now, I would say I'm doing videos, updates, news updates, etc., and just a few topics on podcasting too.
Cool.
So basically, classes were your gateway cast, and now you're just experimenting with everything out there.
Yeah, and I actually do. I in terms of collaboration as well, what I've been doing is I've just got so much of the podcasting bug, and my time has been so limited to plan my own podcast. I've actually hooked up with Simorg, who does the Ashes Pathfinder podcast, and he does a weekly stream on Mondays. And we kind of do the, a similar type of roundtable. He has a very unique take in terms of how he does it. He brings in, he floats in a lot of different guests. We tend to have a script, but whether or not we follow the script is really up to the folks on the stream that are listening and watching. So there's a lot of interaction there. That's a lot of fun too. So definitely one way or another, I'm getting a podcast fix. Either if I'm either creating or participating in one.
Yeah.
So, question for you then. If you could pick the one piece of news that Intrepid were to put out tomorrow, barring, of course, that the game was going to launch early, like next month or something, but if you pick one piece of news that they would drop in the blog and announcements tomorrow, what would you want it to be?
I mean, I don't want to go full meme status and say no, it's 3, but I do want them to kind of maybe come out with a blog schedule, I guess, and really kind of give us an idea of what their what systems they're going to cover. I think that to me would be a great announcement. We've talked a lot about in other forums, like understanding what the roadmap is, kind of understanding where they are in the process, knowing that they are working hard, but what are they, working on that we can see. I think that's something that I just really want to get more information on what their plans are. So I would say if anything, I would love to see kind of a roadmap, a blog kind of plan, or even actually a lore release plan too would be cool too. So any one of those that gives us more information on where they are, where they're headed. To me, the release date is immaterial, and I know that's probably blasphemy to say, but as long as they deliver on the vision they set out to deliver on, then I'm going to be happy however long it takes.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I'm hesitant to say that they're definitely going to stick to that before 2020 release date without a little bit of creative launch dates and smaller releases, but I honestly don't really care.
Yeah.
The progress that they're making and the information they're putting out, the tale that they're telling, and everything is just, it's going really, really well. I have a really good feeling about it. And speaking of which, hi AOC. How's it going?
Speaking of that, actually, they just said in the chat that the creative director's letter will cover all the things that they've been doing, or they will be doing for the next few months, and they plan to do this around every quarter or so, pending the development, and that'll cover a lot of things that we're asking for, and also in general, just things about what's going on, and being able to give the community a little bit more of an insight as to what's planned, what's coming up. So long needed.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that was you guys, by the way, Maggie and Toast, giving a kick in the pants for that, it's a good idea.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Well, I guess, we have a lot of good candidates for our podcast intro voiceover. We chose Daedalus today because he was our guest. But we haven't actually, like, we've narrowed it down, but we haven't actually chosen one officially yet. But when it is chosen, we will fix it up and post it for you guys in our Discord. And also announce it on our Twitter. So, that being said, we are also working on a new intro layout and also some other stuff as far as just icons and overlays and stuff. We officially got emotes in, but eventually we'll get like some better emotes. I do know that I placed in a golden feather. There's like a Ashes love and like a hype emote, so some cute stuff going there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also for the badges, you can see like a slightly broken egg. I'm not gonna tell you much more than this, but you have to keep following along to see what that turns into.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, some of this evolution of the podcast and what we're doing and everything, it's starting to speed up, and we're really starting to get a little bit of a different direction, but more of a defined direction on where exactly we want to go, and giving ourselves a good roadmap for everything too. So
Yeah.
we're following in the footsteps of the Ashes team.
Also, we are doing a weekly meme contest. So for those of you who are Ashes, what is it called? Savvy? Ashes Savvy, and want to either make a meme or submit a stream appropriate meme for Ashes of Creation, we have those open every week, and our guest will be choosing the winner the night before. We kind of just started this last week, but we haven't gotten any submissions yet. So if you guys want to, now's your chance for next week. And yeah, the podcast is every Friday at 5 p.m. PST with your host, DJ Virtek and Chibi Bree. And our individual stream times for our podcast are kind of in flux at the moment. But yeah. What have you got planned this week, Daedalus? What are you up to?
Not a lot. We're going to be continuing our podcast related to Ashes on the Ashes Pathfinders, so I can shoot you over the link for that as well, and that's every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. This week we're going to be talking a little bit more about the grind, which is gearing, etc., and our thoughts and theory crafts around that. So yeah, tune in if you can, and definitely looking forward to another good conversation with Sim, and Zeke the Phoenix is on as our guest this week.
Sounds interesting to me. All right, well, I guess that's all we really have for this podcast. Want to do our outros? Virtek?
Alrighty, so Virtek, DJ Virtek, you can find me everywhere under those two names. I know I keep promising it, but here actually really soon I'm going to be getting a little bit more active on the Instagram. I needed to get some videos edited for the podcast here, which I have done now. And so now I can focus on the photos and get those up. And the music thing, I'm starting to make some contacts with some copyright-free music, so once I get all that down, then I'll be starting my own streams with making audio mixes for people who want to stream, getting different categories of mixes down, like 30-minute mixes down for like boss fights and such. It's gonna be fun and interesting. Keep a lookout for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you already introduced yourself earlier, Daedalus, but for those of us who are still curious, where can we find you?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on my website at ashenherald.com. I post all my videos there and links to that. My content is primarily on YouTube. You can just search for the Ashen Herald. I'm also on Twitter at the Ashen Herald. And you can check me out there. I go in and post videos, my links to my videos, and any other news that's out and about in the Ashes community that I get wind of. So look forward to hearing from all of you.
Sounds pretty cool. And
Very good.
I'm personally working on getting more into keeping up with the various sites and community in general. I took a little bit of a hiatus. And hey Z, how are you?
Hey.
And basically I'm coming back now, and I'm trying to get myself reconnected with all of you guys, and also all of the information that was out there that I missed. So yeah. And I'm Chibi Bree. You can find me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/ChibiBree. I stream a couple of times a week, and my schedule is up there. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram and all of that other stuff as Chibi Bree. So yeah. And of course, you can find our wonderful, wonderful podcast here on Twitch. We have our future growth on YouTube now, and our Twitter. Sorry, I got a little distracted by chat for a second there. And if you guys like our content, feel free to follow and subscribe, whichever one. Like subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch. There's a notification bell you can click when we go live on Twitch, as well as when we upload new videos on Mondays on our YouTube. And if you really would like to help support us, you can subscribe on our Twitch, and all of that money goes towards improving our podcast and getting new overlays and better graphics and things like that to make our podcast really shine. And also possibly try to get some gift cards maybe for Ashes. What? Anyway.
Some gifty things to give away for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Like, eventually, when they put things like the Ashes posters back up there and the shirts and stuff, that'd be nice. Or like a lanyard or something. Alright, cool. See. Alright, well, thank you guys so much. If you have come in late and missed a lot of it, this will be up by Monday. But if you're a subscriber, you'll see this probably no later than Saturday. So, yeah.
Thank you. Get on it right away.
Right. Thank you so much, Daedalus, for joining us, and I really enjoyed having you on the podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the time you gave me on your podcast, and good luck with future endeavors.
Thank you.
Likewise, and we definitely were going to have you back.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Like,
awesome.
Great minds think alike. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to come back on, especially when Nodes 3 comes back. I'd like your opinion on that.
Yes.
So, all right. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Friday live right here, 5 p.m. PST. Bye.
Adios.
Bye, everyone.